Hello everyone, this is Fireheart and welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna make a tier list on the Genshin Impact characters. To start off, I already put two characters in here. The first one is Hagel. This guy obviously has not been released yet, so I put him in the question mark tab. And this is just a regular image that I saw here, doesn't fit with the other characters. I assume it's a mistake of the author, but let's go. We will go by order of the characters that are presented here to us. First off is Ether, or the Traveler if you will. Ether, his best element, I would say it is the Geo element, which his Geo element is not the best, not the worst. So I think I will leave him in D tier for now. Next one is Albedo. Albedo is quite useful in certain team compositions, especially as a battery. He can deal a pretty significant amount of damage. For that reason I will put him in C tier for now. Next up is Amber. Now, Amber is a very niche character. So niche in fact that almost no one ever uses Amber. Therefore, I will put her in the E tier list. She's not the worst, I'll get to the worst soon, but for now, Amber is a E. Now Ayaka. Ayaka, everyone already knows, is one of the greatest characters in Genshin Impact. Her freeze compositions are amazing, she can deal a ton of damage in the game, she has good free-to-play weapons, she has good pay-to-win options, therefore Ayaka will go on the S tier. Next is Barbara. Barbara is another character that you'll probably never use her unless you're just starting the game. Barbara is your basic healer. Healers are already not very good in Genshin Impact. Of course you do need healers, but every other healer is better than Barbara, so I will put her together with Amber on the E tier list. Next up is Beto, Captain Beto. Beto has a huge problem with her ultimate, which is the cost of the ultimate itself. The ultimate is very good indeed, but to get the ult up, it takes a lot of effort. She can also be your main DPS, but she is not the best option. She falls short of every single physical 5-star, which at the moment I think is only Euler, but I will leave her in C tier for now. The tier list might get adjusted in just a few moments, but I think Beto will stay here for now. Next up we have Bennett, the Pyro Archon himself. This is an easy S tier. In fact, I will put him in front of Ayaka. Bennett is hands down one of the top 3 units in the game. He can heal, he can buff, he is the best at both categories, and therefore he is the S tier. Next up we have Chong Yun. Chong Yun is another character that I don't see used often. There are a lot of people who like Chong Yun. However, his cryo infusions are very detrimental to some certain compositions, and even if you're playing on co-op, Chong Yun is not the best option. However, he can deal a good amount of damage if he is your main DPS. For now, I will leave him at the top of D tier. And while we're here, I changed my mind about Albedo. I will knock him up a tier. Next is the red-headed Batman himself, the Look. The Look is, if you get him in the standard banner as your first 5-star, is a good option for DPS. However, he's an old character that falls short of newer ones. Therefore, I will put the Look together with Albedo in the B tier list for now. Diana. Diana certainly is better than the Barbara. Diana also can heal you and both shield you, and her shield is one of the best in the game. She can also apply cryo with her ultimate. Therefore Diana, for her versatility, her good choices of weapon, both free to play and pay to win, and her good constellations makes her our first A tier. Next up is Xiao, presenting the Vertland. Fission is a very good first DPS. If you get her in the 4-star category, you can deal some physical damage with her. However, we all know that the best for Fischl is not Fischl herself, it is Oz. Oz is an amazing turret, doing continuous electro damage. Just like Albedo, she can deal quite a lot of damage in the field, so it just feels right to put her right beside Albedo. Next up is my favorite character, of course, Ganyu, the Coco Goat herself. Now this is very easy for me. Ganyu is easily the single best character in Genshin Impact. I know that Benedict is very famous for his Prado application and whatnot, but Ganyu can change your entire account around. She has good free-to-play options for weapons, she has good pay-to-win options with the various bows that have been released recently, and the Amos bow which you can get off the standard banner and off pity of the many banners. Now her constellations are not the best for starters, but her final constellation is also one of the best in the game. Therefore, I will put Ganyu solid in the number 1 spot of our tier list right here. Next up we have Hutao. Now Hutao is one that is very boggling in my mind. You see, I am quite debating in putting Hutao in the S tier list, but as you can see in my tier list, it goes all the way from S to F, so I can have more movement around in any part of the tier list that I want. Therefore, I will put Hutao spearheading the area of tier list. Next up is Barbara's sister, Ninguang Euler, the Dandelionite. Jin, just like her sister, is a great healer. Jin can also deal some good amount of physical damage for a starter DPS. But of course, Jin is not the very best at most things. Jin can also battery for Xiao, therefore I will put Jin on the bottom of B list. Next up is Kaeya. Kaeya, also one of the starter characters of the game, can carry you for the initial AR of the game. Therefore, Kaeya will stay here in the D tier list. Although Kaeya has many impressive stuff that he can do. You can see him around on the internet, people swear by his power, but I don't believe it. Kaeya is just not powerful enough to climb up the tier list. Next up we have Keqing. Keqing, another character of the standard banner, is also just like Diluc, very good if you pull for her right in the beginning of your account, but you will likely replace her with a better character in the future. Therefore, I will put her above Jin in the character tier list. Next up we have Klee, the Spark Knight herself. Now Klee is the second banner character ever released to us. She got power crept really hard when the game started. She feels very clunky to play. She does have good options for weapons though. Therefore, I shall put Klee together with Diluc on the tier list. Next up we have Lisa. Now Lisa, just like Amber, just like Barber, is a very niche character. Basically I only know one use for her and it is not in the best position. Lisa is only if you have no other options, but Lisa can also deal some assistance to the team, therefore she does not go to the F tier list. For the F tier list I will only put one character, and it is the character that I believe fails as accomplishing its duty. Next up is Lumine. Lumine is a pretty easy one. Lumine is just like Ether, they are both the Traveler, so they go together. Next up is Mona, the one that I believe is the best character to get off the standard banner. Mona is very useful in freeze teams, and even in meld teams if you want. Mona can use the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers to buff your characters, but she can also buff her natural by using her ultimate ability. Therefore, Mona will go in the A tier for now. Next up we have Ninguang. Now Ninguang, as her C0, her power is not very impressive. However, the more constellations you get for Ninguang, the more powerful she gets, until she gets to C6, where her power is very much different from her C0 constellation. However, required constellations is a detriment for the character. Therefore, I shall spare her of A tier and let's put her in front of Jin for now. Next up is Noelle. Noelle, with her own starter banner in the game, you can get a 5-star from her banner, but you will most likely get a standard 5-star, and her banner also does not offer weapons. Many players do not pull on her. However, Noelle is an easy to get C0 character. Her C6 makes her quite more powerful. However, comparing here that we have Beto on the C tier list for now, Noelle will be leading the charge for the D tier list. Next up is Chichi. Now Chichi is pretty much just like Barbara. However, Chichi has some advantages to Barbara. First off, Chichi can heal more, Chichi can apply cryo to enemies, Chichi does not apply cryo to herself, Chichi's elemental burst can heal enemies much easier than Barbara. Therefore, I shall put Chichi right in front of Chong Yun on the tier list. Next up is Razor. Razor is another character that is very good to get as your first 4-star. However, Razor is a main DPS only. Razor will only do main DPS damage as a physical damage. He does have some mixed electrical damage, but his electrical powers are more like to trigger reactions than to deal damage itself. However, I do believe the Razor is a better character than Beto, therefore he will be the one leading the C category. Next up we have Sucrose. Now Sucrose is a character that I believe is very unappreciated in Genshin Impact. All you need for constellations for her is her C1, so she can use her E twice, and she can be the best animal battery in the game. She can use the Trillion Tails of Dragon Slayers, and she can group enemies if you don't have the 5-star options. I believe Sucrose, even with her constellations, is an A tier because she can transfer Elemental Mastery, and any character that benefits from Elemental Mastery will benefit from Sucrose. Next up we have Tartalia, or Child. Tartalia will be earning here the A on the tier list, just below Hutao. Tartalia is very versatile. However, Tartalia does not deal a great deal amount of damage by himself. Therefore, Tartalia will fall short to S tier, the A tier list. Next up we have Venti. Now Venti, we all know, is one of the best characters. He is in one of the best compositions, which is the Morgana composition. Venti, I would say, is a minimum A tier. I would say Venti is minimum of A tier. I will put him leading A tier for now, as I am quite sure that he could be an S tier depending on what you use him for. But of course, Kazuha, which we will see here in just a moment, pretty much power creeps him. Not in every aspect, mind you, but Kazuha is a better option if you're looking for raw damage. Next up, we have the favorite 4-star of many Genshin Impact players, Xiangling. Now Xiangling is very versatile, a great starter DPS and a great end-game support. Xiangling will definitely be earning a solid spot on A tier. Next up we have Xiao. Xiao is one of the best characters in the game in my opinion. just falling short of the S tier again. I do not give S tiers very easily in this tier list. I will put him just below Hutao on the tier list. I do believe Hutao is more powerful than Xiao. For certain scenarios, of course, Xiao can dispense of a group of mobs very much easily than Hutao. However, the damage ceiling of Hutao is much greater than Xiao. Therefore, Xiao will fall shortly of Hutao. Next up we have Chinchu, another of the great characters that is just a 4-star in the game. Chinchu is basically what Xiangling does for Pyro, but in Hydro form. And Chinchu doesn't even need that many constellations to do what he does best. Therefore, I shall put him in the A tier list. I will put him just besides Mona, since they can accomplish the same spot, and I will leave it at that. Now, for Xinyan. Xinyan is one of the characters that I mentioned before. Xinyan is the character that fails the Genshin Impact characters. Xinyan not only is a physical character that has a pyro vision, which does not help for her reactions to increase her physical damage, but Xinyan has a lot of bugs that have never been fixed. Therefore, Xinyan alone will be sitting on the F tier list for a failed character design. Next up, the Geogod himself, Zhongli. Zhongli, of course, is another character that can change your entire account. If you get Zhongli on the Spiral Abyss, your times will definitely improve. And he can also buff your team with his shield after he got buffed in the patch 1. Just after his release in patch 1.1. The community complained about Zhongli. However, Zhongli got very much stronger. Zhongli got a lot stronger. Therefore, he will be just above Ayaka on the S tier. Next up we have Rosaria. Now Rosaria is one of the characters that is a very niche character. She's used as a cryo battery. She can transfer crit rate for your characters. She can apply cryo. And I was thinking about putting her right here on the D tier list, but after speaking so much about her, I will move her one spot and put it in C tier, and I will leave it at that. Next up we have Euler. Now Euler is quite the strong character, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion she is very reliant on constellations. She's very reliant on her weapon to do an enormous amount of damage. Therefore, I shall put her in the A tier, but I will not put her very high. I will put him just above Tartalia, as I do not believe she's stronger than Xiao. Next up is Yanfei. Now Yanfei is very much likely a pyro DPS who uses a catalyst. However, Yanfei depends on some constellations to gain some power. She's very much used in quite some unique team compositions. She's not useless by any means. Therefore, she's fall just in the middle of the tier list in my opinion, so I'll put her in the C tier for now. Next up we have the boy that has mentioned before, the one that many of players seek to get him in the next update probably, Kazuha. Now Kazuha is one of the strongest characters in the game. I will be getting Kazuha on one of my accounts. I know I don't have him yet. I missed the opportunity in the first banner. I did not have enough Primogems. But now, to decide where Kazuha goes, I think Kazuha will go just below Bennett. I was thinking of putting Kazuha behind Zhongli, but Kazuha can be very useful in many team comps just like Zhongli. However, Kazuha can also group up enemies as well as buff and deal damage. Therefore, Kazuha will just be a bit up from jungler. Next up we have Yoimiya. Yoimiya is another one of my favorite Genshin Impact characters. Therefore, I will put her right in the A tier list. She might be one of my favorites, but I do recognize that she is not the most powerful. Basically, Yoimiya, which I have played a ton of her with, can deal a lot of damage but to one enemy only. Therefore, I shall move her just in between Tartalia. Maybe if we're talking about one enemy, Yoimiya can probably go right here, just besides Hutao. But if we are talking about multiple enemies, Yoimiya will fall pretty short just below Tartalia. Therefore, I shall put her right here in the middle for now. Next up we have Xiao. Now Xiao, I will not lie to you guys, not very useful. The best utility for her is to be your Uber driver while you're farming around the map. She can heal, yes, she can deal some damage, not the best. Therefore, I will put her in the E tier list, not a very combatant, I would say. Not very much combat inclined, I would say Xiao is. Next we have a character that is the one that I have the most doubt where to put in this entire tier list. The Raiden Shogun, A herself. Now many people attest that the Raiden Shogun is one of the best characters in the entire game. Raiden Shogun has a very good free-to-play weapon available for everyone at every time, which is the catch, which you get by just fishing. She has her weapon, she has everything going for her, but the damage that she outputs is not on par with Ayaka. However, due to her versatility, her options, I will still put her in the S tier, but at the very bottom. Next up we have Kuja Sara. Now Kuja Sara is a very niche character. Just like Goro and just like Shanha, Kuja Sara is used in basically one team composition and one team composition only. But her power is undeniable in that composition, therefore I will judge her on her best behavior and I will put her in the B tier, which she can buff electro characters pretty well. Next up is Kokomi. Kokomi is the peak if we're talking about healing. Yeah, some people like to play Kokomi for their damage, but I do not like DPS Kokomi. Kokomi for me is just the best healer and that is it. However, in the Spiral Abyss, every time we get a Kokomi rerun, we will get those damn wolves, and I will give the benefit of the doubt, and I will put Kokomi at the very top of the B tier list. Next up we have Aloe. Aloe being one of the promotional Genshin characters, I do not believe in her power. I tried her out, didn't get anything done with her, so she can sit right here on the E tier list. She's not as a flawed character as Xinyan, but she is quite bad in my opinion. She almost falls to the F tier. Next up we have Thoma. What can I say about Thoma? His shield is very weak, his ultimate is very weak, he cannot get any better rating than D tier in my opinion, therefore he will sit right here. Now for the current character on banner, I did a video on him, I did a video on Ioto, and where do I put Ioto in the tier list? But Ioto, let me tell you, is very powerful. The question is is he more powerful than Hutao? If we consider that Ioto has more free-to-play options than Hutao, his constellations are somewhat better, I would say. Ioto is a better character than Hutao. As much as it hurts me, I do love Hutao, but Ioto just slightly edges in front of her. However, Ioto has many requirements for him to be the best, as Hutao does not have too many requirements. The only thing Hutao does not have going on for her is a good weapon, but you can get a good weapon in the form of the Black Leaf Spear or the Lithic Spear if you get the chance to get one of those. I do believe that Hutao actually power creeps Ioto, therefore Hutao shall be placed above Ioto, but Ioto shall still be in the A tier, a very solid spot. Next up we have Goro. Now Goro fits the same purpose as Kuja Sara in very niche tier comps. We have Goro right here. Goro will go together with Kuja Sara just in front. I do believe that Goro is a bit better at doing his job than Sara, but he will stay there for now. I do not believe that he is better than any of these characters. We might change that in the end of the tier list, but for now Goro will stay right there. And for another niche character we have Shenhe. Now Shenhe is quite the enigma for me. Shenhe can help cryo teammates deal a lot of damage, and if you look at the S tier, two of those characters are Ayaka and Ganyu, which can deal one of the most amount of damage in the game. Therefore I shall place Shenhe just above Diana on the tier list, and that is that. And the niche characters don't stop coming. The next one is Yunjin. Yunjin is a very good for normal attacking characters, just like Yoimiya. However, I shall put Yunjin together here with this niche trio, as if your character does not deal strictly normal attacks, Yunjin will do nothing for you. Next up we have Yaimiko. Yaimiko, I do believe many people call her a better version than Fischl, and I am inclined to agree with that. However, Yaimiko can deal a great amount of damage while still being off field. She does take some time to position in the field her turrets. However, Yaimiko's ultimate, unlike Fischl's ultimate, is a great asset to the team to deal a good amount of damage. Therefore, I shall put her in the A tier for now. I might adjust her in the end, but for now she stays right here. Next up we have Ioto. Now, Ioto has come out and has recently been very compared with Tartalia, both being Hydra DPS users. I do believe that Ioto is more powerful than Tartalia, therefore I shall put him just above Tartalia, and you know what, I will move him a bit more to the left. More powerful than Euler for sure, more powerful than Yoimiya, and that is where he will sit for now in the A tier. Next up we have Yalon, a character banner that has come and gone. I did do a video on her. Yalon is basically a better version of Chinchu. She is quite good, considering that one of the best combos in the game is Yalon with Hutao. Therefore I shall put her just besides Hutao. I am not sure that she is better than Venti. However, they two will sit side by side together with Hutao. This just feels right for me. And the newest character in the game, Shinobu. This character intrigues me. She is an electro healer, one of the only in the game. She can apply electro to enemies, so you can diminish their resistance together with cryo. For now, I will put her in the C tier, just at the bottom of the C tier. However, I do not believe she is very powerful, but I do believe she does have some uses which makes her more useful than any character in the D tier. For now, I will leave our tier list as this. Take a look at the tier list. I may make another one in the future. However, as it stands, this is my final judgment on the tier list. Ganyu sits at the top of the tier list, while Xinyan sits at the bottom of the tier list. It is quite a shame for Xinyan that she sits at the bottom. I really like her design, I really like her rock and roll vibes, but Xinyan just is a failure not being cryo or electro character while doing physical damage, while Ganyu is simply too powerful with her double reverse melt, her ultimate, her compositions with the most powerful are reverse melt and Morgana. This will be our final judgment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share on social media and with your friends, so we can get more people. Don't forget to share this video, like, comment, and subscribe for more.